Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our reaction and review for Justified City Primeval Season 1, Episode 3. An episode that tackled all the big important questions in life, including, is a hot dog a sandwich? And I'm here with the answer, everybody. No. You know why?
Oh, you lucky you said no,
The
because
hot
that
dog
is correct.
The hot dog is better than a sandwich.
Oh,
You do
now we're
not
fighting.
denigrate
Oh
a
my
hot dog by putting it in the same category as the sandwich. This
Oh, we fighting.
That's fine. I'm
We're having
ready.
a knife
I'm
fight.
ready for this take because you know why? Mr. Hot Dog Man has to be one of the greatest one episode characters in Justified history. Like everything about this
He's
guy.
such a dum-dum.
He is this certified platinum in between his. I thought this was going to be MTV Cribs, his whole perception on everything. Yes, he is a dum-dum. Yes, all of the hot dogs have destroyed and corrupted his brain. But you know what?
No, for a guy, listen, for a guy that's been able to sort of make all this money sort of under the table in this really crafty kind of way, I expected him to not be like basically the brother of Nandor from over on What We Do in the Shadows, just like such a dum-dum.
It's fine. You know what? It's okay. We all need dum-dums in this world, right? It makes everybody else feel smarter, and he is a grade A dum-dum. This episode, it was fire. There was good stuff.
It was good.
All over the place. You know, we've learned more about a lot of these new characters. Are we already saying goodbye to Raylan's daughter? And how do we all feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like we might be, and they did it in a way, we'll get more into it, but they did it in a way that makes complete sense.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you guys are new to the channel, I am Matt Roast. This is Jessica Bun. We are here after every episode of Justified City Primeval, breaking things down, sharing hot takes, theories, all that good stuff. But, you know, speaking of theories, we have a video up over at our Patreon, an exclusive all about who from the original Justified could be coming back.
Yeah, we put on our detective hats.
Yes.
We scoured the internet for evidence to see who's available, who may have come back, and it is over there in our Patreon video.
And along with that, every Tuesday on Patreon, we are doing a live. So if you guys want to come over, chat with us during the stream about Justified City Primeval, other TV shows you love, you know, we are there. We are ready to do it. We are so grateful to everyone who has signed up over there. We appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, where do you want to start? We've already gotten into the hot dog guy. You want to get into the hot dog guy?
Give me the relish, give me the mustard. I am so ready.
Not a sandwich, not better than a sandwich. Okay.
What? You're sneaking that in there. Just gonna move right along.
Okay,
all right.
So we have this whole plot that's going on with Clement and Sandy, where Sandy's got this hot dog guy as this mark that she's like, he's got money, he's got lots of it, he's got it in a secret room. Like, I think that we can get into that. Clement's like, okay, cool, work your magic on him, and then we will get to the secret room.
Yeah.
The way that this all came together so easily for Clement, where, you know, this guy decides he's in love with Sandy and he's going to marry her. He wants to propose to her. And so she's like, okay, you know, you need to meet my brother, you know, whatever. Clement is the brother.
Yeah.
All right, fine. So they're all talking. He's like, yeah, I want to marry her. Clement's like, okay, you want to marry my sister? Cool. About that secret room, if you want to earn my trust, I know all about your secret room. You need to take me there. At that moment, I was expecting him to be like, what? No, why would that be any sort of deal breaker on whether or not Sandy says yes? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Of all the things you want to know, you might as well have been like, oh, you want to marry my sister? Give me all the information for your bank account. That's what I need to know. And so he says yes. I understand he's drinking and whatever, but just the same, he says yes.
Yeah.
He brings him to the secret room. Then it's like, okay, I'm in the secret room. What's in that safe over there? At that point, I also expected him to be like, get out. Like, something's not right here. Get out. But he's a dum-dum. So he's like, well, let me open it for you. It's filled with guns.
Yeah.
Then Clement's like, okay, well, where's the money that should be in the safe? There's no money in the safe. At that point, I was like, for sure. He's got all these guns. They're all loaded. He's going to pull a gun on Clement. He has to. Like, why wouldn't he at this point? all dum-dum, still like, here's a gun, check it out. Oh, no cash? Yeah, of course no cash. It was so like, I wanted to believe in it, but I was just like, how is this guy such a dum-dum with all this money?
He's in love.
No.
She is the chili to his dog. He feels
Oh my
like
goodness.
this is the person for him. And, you know, ultimately,
He's a great character, but what a dum-dum.
I love this man. I could watch this man do anything. And I think it's just ultimately, like, there's a lot of nuance that actually does go into this, because it's like, is it the question of how much of a dum-dum this guy is? And I think we've already answered that, coupled with, you know, how charismatic and how good both Sandy and Clement are at sort of playing all of this off. And, you know, she's clearly got her hooks in enough that ultimately Hot Dog Man is just not seeing the forest through the trees here. And he gets in so deep. And really, like, this is just, by the way, red flag city with all of this sort of stuff. Like, you know, if Clement was a normal brother, by the way, the mere notion of this man being like, I have a secret room. Who has a secret room? Like, what is in there, for starters? Then Clement is like, I want to see your secret room. That is another massive red flag. What's in the safe? Waving the red flag all over the place.
Yeah, what's in the safe? That should have been it for him. I truly was expecting that once he opened the safe and it was filled with guns, he was just going to pull a gun out and be like, okay, what is this? Like, what is going on with this? What is happening with this? Why are you asking to see my safe? You're asking to see my secret room. Something's going on, drunk or not.
I think ultimately, like, it's ridiculous and it's over the top, but it's just like, this guy clearly feels like Sandy's brother is extremely important to her, and he needs to do whatever to make the family just feel okay so that the wedding can go smoothly.
I absolutely loved how Clement got rid of his tail. Them leaving the bar and then him being in, you know, the truck, just holding on at a green light, waiting for everyone to leave to see who was left behind him to let the other car go. I was just like, oh my goodness, like, so smart, really fun. Hadn't seen that before on TV.
Clement is great. Like, I think
He is great.
There's a lot of really good Clement stuff in this episode. We're 3 episodes in, and it's just like, I'm not actively thinking about Boyd anymore, and that to me
I'm thinking about Boyd,
okay.
But they're very different. Like, I was kind of the first 2 episodes like, there's some similarities there, but this episode, he just drove in his own direction.
Him singing in the room where he is locked up and they're all watching him. You're a crazy person.
Like, that's crazy.
He really is so confident about his ability to sort of slither out of any situation. And I mean, like you said with the car chase, he literally slithered out of that situation. He is just really slick and really dangerous. And I think that's what makes him an interesting adversary in this world. I mean, we already know what happened to the judge, but it still does feel like there are a lot of end games here that are kind of still up in the air.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, of course, that are all connected to Clement as well. I mean, everything that's going on with Carolyn, he shows up at her house, blaring music, his face is all beat up, and he's kind of like, Raylan did this. What can we do about this? Which is, I think, what a lot of us thought was going to happen. He was going to kind of look for some sort of, you know, angle with getting, you know, beaten up, and Raylan being like, yeah, I took the bait. What am I going to do? He's got his arm around my 15-year-old daughter. What would you guys do? Which then, of course, makes the whole force be like, oh yeah, we're all behind you on this. We're bringing him in. We're bringing everybody in. Sweetie's coming in. Sandy's coming in. The whole crew is coming in. But it was interesting to see, like, that he can show up at Carolyn's house in the middle of the night, blaring music. And yeah, she gets him to turn it off. But at the same time, he has that type of power over her. And then we're in this situation where it's sort of the same thing with Sweetie. He is smart enough to get that gun, put that gun away somewhere. I was like, oh, what's he going to end up doing with this? Is this going to be collateral for a later time? Like, what's he going to do? He goes to Carol and is like, listen, we are both in this situation with this totally sane guy, Clement, and maybe I have this weapon. maybe there's some killings attached to it. Maybe this is our key to just get him put away for a really long time, if not forever, and you and I can both just move on. And she's seemingly like, I think I can get you a deal. If I can get you an immunity deal, maybe that gun could show up and maybe we could deal with it. And he's like, cool, get that together. I'm just like, oh, I'm here for this.
Carolyn, come on. Please, you have gone through enough with Clement at this point. I think
and her ex and everything's going on with the, the lien and to watch her like filling out that application and to get to that point to be an associate judge. And she's like, oh, cool. My ex messed me over on this. And watching her sit at that judge's desk, I was like, it's so sad. Like she's really going through it.
And it's just like she's clearly a very intelligent person and she's clearly really good at her job. And she's just got this
mixed up with the bad people.
He's just like a living albatross. He just like wanders around. She can't get rid of him. He's just sort of stuck there. And it's just like at a certain point, Carolyn, you got to realize, when is this not worth it anymore? When is there a chance to finally break free of this? I hope this is the chance. It's sort of like I'm also really conflicted about a lot of stuff because I don't want this franchise to go anywhere. Like I would love to have a season 2 of City Primeval. I would love to spend more time with these characters, but that also means that Carolyn probably gets stuck being roped in with Clement longer, and I don't want that for her.
Possibly. It kind of depends on what happened with how they tie it up with Clement. Like maybe he's a 1-season guy and then someone else is coming in next season, or we don't know yet. But Carolyn is a excellent character. She's so good. And I would absolutely, if there's a season 2, see her come back. She's really complicated because she really is kind of trying to do the right thing, but is tied up with some kind of shady stuff that's going on. It's sort of just like good people sometimes get stuck in weird, bad situations and they just don't know how to get out of it.
I also love that in this episode, they really do just explicitly say, Raylan, you can get away with stuff that other people can't get away with. And it's so unbelievably true. Like this,
yes, it is.
There is a big part of me that is just sort of like, how does this man still have a job? Like, he's clearly good at it, but it's sort of just like at the same time.
That's what it is. He's good at it, that they kind of look the other way. A little bit like The Blacklist, which just ended, where you got a whole task force looking the other way because, more good is coming from what they're doing that's living in the gray area.
Let's talk about Willa, everybody. Everybody's favorite character of Raylan's daughter, Willa.
Okay, listen, I'm going to give Willa a little bit of slack here.
Okay.
So it's come out through conversation that, when this all started, she had punched somebody in the eye and then she ended up with her dad. And she comes clean where she's like, why do you think I did this? I did this because I only see you a couple times a year. Like, I want to actually spend time with you. Do you not want to spend time with me? And I was just like, oh, ow. Like, I know that Raylan is very busy and obviously is a very demanding job, but there is no work-life balance there, that he's only seeing her for a couple times a year. I mean, she's 15 years old. She's at a very important age in life where it's, being a teenager sucks.
Yes.
You're having your first loves, your first heartbreaks, the first time like your best friend lies to you. It's like, it's really sucks stuff. And it's all happening for the first time at an age where you don't have any experience, you don't know how to deal with it. And not having your dad around, like, I get that they're not together, or parents aren't together, but he can still be around more than, a couple weeks a year. Like, it's a lot. So yeah, she went to extremes to get his attention. But the problem is Clement. And because she went to these extremes and she picked this sort of one extreme where she bought into Clement, who's like, oh, I'm a friend of your dad's, come on down. I'll buy you a sandwich, whatever. Not a hot dog, a sandwich.
Okay, not eating as well then.
That, I understand why she's done what she did to get to her dad. She wants to be with him. And, sometimes when you're a teenager, of course you don't make great decisions, and any attention is attention. So you go from, if you can get good attention, great. If you can't, bad attention, it's acceptable. I'll take what I can get, kind of thing. So I get where she's coming from. And I'm glad that they kind of went in that angle. It made a lot of sense because of the Raylan character, why she was doing what she was doing. It pulled it together in a way that the first 2 episodes did not pull her together. I was just like, why is she here? Is she just here so we can have this moment where Raylan punches Clement in the face? Like, there has to be more to it. And they delivered in this episode. It's just, it got kind of complicated because she was downstairs with Clement. And I was like, if she does not get on that plane, Winona's come back from her vacation, she's like, nah, bring the kid home. Like, she can't be out there right now with what's going on and who you're chasing, who knows you have a daughter, who knows where your daughter is. No, she has to go back. After all of that, I felt like in this episode, if they didn't send Willa home, then I wasn't going to buy it. No way was Raylan going to keep her there in that kind of danger with Clement knowing where she is. She had to go.
Yeah, this is sort of my big feeling about this storyline is just that I think they did a good job of telling the story that was in front of us.
They did.
That I think they justified why Willa is the way that she is.
Justified.
I didn't even know I was doing it. Hashtag accidental pun. Okay, so I think they did a good job of making that clear. It's just that at the end of the day, is this a story that all of us who are watching Justified really want to see? And it's just like, we're not really watching this show, I don't believe, for the relationship between these two characters. I just think we're watching this show because we want to watch Raylan take down some bad people and, break down doors and be awesome. And it's just, I felt like we needed to get to a point where we sort of took this other story and sort of put it off the board for a little while. And it's just like, Willa did everything that I would expect a character her age to do, and the part of it that made me feel the saddest was at the airport when Raylan picks up the phone and then she just goes and wanders over to the gate and she's just getting on there before Raylan even gets off, and he's just like, man, I totally blew that, but that is, that's who Raylan is when he's in the midst of all of this, for better or in this case for a lot worse.
Yeah, it's just, that is who Raylan is when he's involved in a case and he's deep in a case like this. Every second does count when it comes to, crime work. Like, you really have to jump on things while they're happening, and you've got somebody calling, then it has to be something important that's moving forward. Now, yes, his daughter's important too, but that conversation, it was tied up in a way that she could have gotten on the plane at that point where he was like, you know what? It's not what I want to do, but I have to do this. Like, Clement is here. You're not safe here. And she's kind of like, well, you can protect me. And it's just like, well, he can't. Like, he can only protect you if he's with you all the time, which means you're asking him not to do his job. And if he doesn't do his job, then nothing stops with Clement. Like, it doesn't ever stop. And he can't just be with her all the time. Instead, he needed to, make some sort of a compromise where it's like, you get on this plane now, we'll figure something out afterwards, which kind of happened. She was like, what about Nashville? What about this? What about that? And he's like, yes. So I think if we end this season where he is going to meet her, to go and spend a good amount of time with her, he's going to change things around a little bit, then at least, the arc has gotten somewhere and it wasn't a waste. But yes, I want to see him back kicking down doors, guns blazing. What's good?
Let's get grab a tinfoil hat here.
Oh, all right.
Who else thinks that Willa's going to be in episode 4? That she's actually not going anywhere.
Oh, that she's going to go on the plane and do it and walk right back out again?
Well, maybe Raylan's going to be running it through the tunnel and being like, I'm sorry.
No, he knows that this is the right thing.
He knows that it's the right thing for
her. And
I
think deep down she knows it's the right thing too. It is too dangerous.
I just think it's just interesting to me that, Timothy Olyphant's daughter Vivian plays the role, but I think it's interesting that they really hyped up this character moving into this season, and it's just she's gonna be gone in episode 3. We're not even at the halfway point of the season. I mean, let's make it clear, it's the right decision. I'm happy if she ends up going on the plane and going away. It's just I have this feeling in my stomach that we're going to see a lot more of this character sooner rather than later. Maybe she does go on the plane, but she finds her way back. I don't know how it happens.
Yeah, I don't know how if she gets on the plane, it takes off. I don't know how she finds her way back unless somebody goes all the way down there and grabs her and brings her back. And I don't think anybody's doing that. It would have to be he watches her go on the plane, he leaves, and she does a and walks right back out again.
And if you do that, Willa, I'm sorry, but just like what are you doing?
No, then you're being a dum-dum. And yeah, I know you're 15, but you still know what's dangerous and what's not.
Does she move up to number 1 on the dum-dum rankings over Hot Dog
No.
Man? If she does set as Hot Dog Man, still number 1.
He's always number 1. What's in the safe? Let me show you, stranger. It's just like, oh my,
See,
you a dum-dum.
you have my heart. Okay, that is what we got for Justified City Primeval, Season 1, Episode 3. Thank you guys for hanging out with us.
Thank you.
Check out our Patreon video about who could be coming back from the OG Justified.
Yeah, and don't forget about our lives. We're going to be having live streams over there every single Tuesday where you can come and join us, talk to us all about Justified or any other shows that you're watching that you want to recommend to us. We have pretty fun discussions over there. So thank you to all our Patreons, and we will see you all next time.